think we're getting close to a color that we're looking for. I'm looking for a really yellow sign, I think. Yeah, something really light and yellow. It's going to be very, 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 very bright, I think. Yeah. Let's see what this looks like once we have this white mixed into it. Okay. It's looking pretty close. I think I'm going to add a touch more yellow to that white. And I think we're going to be someplace. Yeah. That should be good. That should be good. Look at that. How's it going, Amy? I hope that you're having a good night tonight. What's going on? Okay. I'm just going to add a touch of green to this. I don't know. Just a little slight touch of green. Just feels like it needs it. Yeah. Just a slight touch of green. That's good. Okay. And a little bit more yellow. There. This should be good, I think. Yeah, that's about what we're looking for. Okay. Let's see how things look. Amy, thank you for sharing the live. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Okay, here we go. Let's start painting the sign right here. Look how bright that yellow is. You see how bright that is? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for the likes, Amy. I really appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. This should be good. Now let's just make sure we go all the way down to about yay here. Yeah, about yay there. With our sign that we're painting. Yeah. Boy, that is a very, very lively yellow, isn't it? A little bit. We want to follow the length of what we just painted up here the other day. This post. Yeah, we're going to follow the length of it. Thank you for the likes, Amy. I appreciate that. Okay. We may have to paint this more than once. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Okay. There. And then a little curve. A little bit of a curve right about there. Right about there. That should be good. Thank you for the likes, Amy. I appreciate that. Okay. Scoop up some more of this. This yellow that we have is just about the right color, I think, for what we want to do. Thank you for the likes, Amy. I appreciate that very, very much. And once we have this shape locked in, we'll be able to concentrate on a lot of different things. Make things a lot easier for us, I think. Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you just gotta block those shapes in any other way you can. So you can move on to, I guess you could call it the more exciting stuff, but all of this is exciting, really. Yeah, I have come for some soul caver painting ASMR. I appreciate it, Odig. How you doing today? What's going on? Some days it just feels nice to paint, you know that. Some days it just makes you feel good. And that's the best reason to paint, really, is just because it makes you feel good. But I guess that's the best reason to do anything, because it makes you feel good. That's why I do most things. Thanks for sharing the live, Donna Davis Franco. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. I think we just about got this sign where we want it, guys. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. It's about yay distance from the pole. Got ourselves a little curve over here going. Yeah. Maybe we'll just angle this so it looks like it's flaring out a little bit. Just to create a little bit of perspective, because, without a little perspective, our picture's going to look pretty flat. And, well, our world's not flat. How am I tonight, oh, Dick? Oh, I'm pretty okay. I had a tough time getting going today, but I'm doing a lot better than I was, I think. Feeling a lot better than I was. Yeah, it's just one of those days. Sometimes you feel like nothing's gonna go right. Lilac, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much. It's very kind of you. And thank you for 1,000 likes, everybody. Okay, my brush just needed a little bit of cleanup there. Yeah, sometimes you gotta wipe off the old brush so you can keep painting, guys. I hope everyone's having a good day today. And if you're not, well, I hope things get better very, very quickly. Maybe they'll get better right now. But eventually, one way or another, it always seems like they do. Somehow or another, my friends. I think I want a blue color next. What we gotta do up there. I think that feels right. I'm going to take some of my mud color that I have mixed up and introduce some of the ultramarine in there. Ultramarine is a lively blue color. It's a very, very famous blue color. Everybody uses it. Everybody in art uses it. And if they don't use it, well, they're probably lying to themselves. They're probably kidding themselves. I'm looking for something a little bit more, I don't know, a little lighter, I think, but also a little bluer. What I had is okay, but it needs a little bit more vibrancy. There. A little bit more vibrancy. Okay. I probably needed to use a lot more blue to the mud mix that I've been using. Yeah. Now let's introduce some white into it again. And I think it's going to be a little bit nicer of a blue that we can use. And about like that. It's not looking too shabby. It's looking pretty good, actually. Let me get some white out. Sometimes you gotta get a little bit more white paint while you're doing things. White is the color that you're going to use the most when you're painting. So you always want to be sure to buy a big tube of it. Those little tubes, they sell them, but they're not that useful by comparison, honestly. Alright. Now that I have a little bit more white, I think we're in business. Yeah, I think we're getting places now. Oh yeah, that's looking a lot nicer. Oh yeah. Okay, let's take our brush now and get to work. Oh, I think we've got something here. I think we got something. Gotta be careful because I don't want to bump the camera, but we'll place it like right here. Look at that. Oh yeah, look how nice that looks. Look how that looks next to that yellow. Doesn't that look pretty? Doesn't that look nice? I mean, it's such a little thing, but The little things are often the prettiest things. It's always the small things that count, the little details. Yeah. Just like that, like right there. Okay, like that. And now you can see that that yellow sign is immediately popping because of that color that we just placed there. It's such a small thing, but it counts for a lot. Okay, let me wipe off my knife here real quick. Yeah, that should be good. And now let's get ourselves some more yellow, because we need to paint something pretty bright. We're going to use a lot of yellow, well, a little yellow and a lot of white for this. Yeah, I think we're going to use a little bit of cadmium yellow deep on that too, because we want this to be kind of an orangey color. Yeah, a little bit of orange in that color. We want this to be a little bit of a sun-kissed color. We might even add just a touch of our neutral mix in there, just to tame things down a little bit. Not too much, but just enough. Just enough. Just enough. Okay. Let's see how this looks. Okay, this is looking pretty lively, actually. That's not looking too bad at all, guys. That's looking pretty decent. I like what we're doing here already. Yeah, just like that. I'm going to use a little bit more orange on that, because it just feels like it needs a little extra push. Yeah. That extra push will take it far. Like I say, that sun-kissed appearance is what we want. You know, when you look at the white on a boat and you see a highlight during the noonday sun, and it looks like sunshine is pouring down on it. That's the vibe we're looking at. That vibe. I think we just about have it. Okay. Sometimes colors surprise you. I frequently find myself surprised by colors. I think I know them so well, but then I keep finding new ways to make them, and new things to draw, new things, new ideas. Art is never dull. Art and painting are always about as interesting as you want to make them. And I try to make it as interesting for myself as I can. Okay. We want to fill in a lot of this over here. Yeah. See how lively that looks. It's such a pretty color. Okay, right up in here. Try not to ruin what we did over there. It's tough when you're painting things like wet like this. Okay. That's pretty good. Now let's paint some of this over here too. Right in there. Yeah. I think right about here is where it's going to end. That shape right there. Yeah. There's going to be a little bit of the boat right here and then the dock below it. And we're going to have to start concentrating on that dock soon, but, well, we'll take it one step at a time. One step at a time, my friends. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, you know. because we've got a lot to do. It's not a small painting by any means. No, no, no. Well, those big paintings feel very adventurous, you know. Feels like you're really going someplace when you start painting them. Okay. So we got that shape painted in, and it's not looking too bad at all. I think what we're going to do is bring this over here too. There. Just over in there a little bit. Perfect. Perfect. And then like about halfway we'll bring this little line right there into. Okay. That's already looking good too. We might even go a little extra and use this color up here on this, because I've been looking at this and thinking to myself, oh, I don't know. I feel like this needs color that's a little bit more interesting, color that's got some more personality to it. Not that the color was bad necessarily, but I don't know. Sometimes you see it and think to yourself, this needs something. This needs something. I say that a lot when I'm painting. This needs something. Yeah. Let's see how we want to kind of continue this line over here. Okay. Looking good. And just continue it over here too. Alright. Right in here, my friends. Right in here. Okay. It's not too shabby. Alright, one more little slice up here. Okay. And now we've got a boat, or at least the beginning of a boat, that is just a little brighter, just a little bit more interesting. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. There. I'm going to bring this down slightly, right about there. Okay, that's good, my friends. No pressure on this. Yeah. Over here. Let's put a little bit of a mark right there. That was a little too big of a mark, but you know what, we'll still run with it because it's, I don't know, it's interesting to look at for right now. I kind of like it. The yellow against that bluish green just is, it's an interesting combination. Down here, right around here, let's go ahead and throw down a little bit of our because we've got a lot of dock that's going to be going from to to fro. We've also got some very lively yellow pieces that we can put into. They're kind of the same as this. They will put it in like right about here, ballpark. I have some of that color left over that I made earlier. Let's put it in about right here, here, yeah, right here. That should be about good. That's good. Okay. That's beautiful, actually. And there's another line that's going to go right next to it. Let's focus, and paint it again. It's going to end right about here. Yeah, right about there. Okay. Alright. That's good. And then another one right. And now we're kind of off camera a little bit, so let's ease up on it a little bit. But I got those shapes in, and it feels pretty good. It does feel pretty good. Let's take some of our color that we have mixed up and get a little creative, I think. Take some of that neutral color that we've been talking about. And I think we'll put a little bit of brown into it. Yeah, we've got some brown nearby we can work with. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what this looks like. It's getting a little... we might need to make it a little bit more vibrant. There. Still too dark. We need something a little bit more chromatic. Driving home, maybe. Well, drive safely. I hope you've had a good day today, Amy. I'm always happy to see you. I always have been. Hope it hasn't been too bad of a day today. Well, we all have days that are good. We all have days that are a little rough. I guess that's what we call balance. Yeah. Well, if we didn't have a rainy day occasionally, we wouldn't be able to appreciate all the good days. I suppose that's a fact of life right there. I don't know. Okay, I think we've almost got a color that is going to be good enough to work with. Yeah. We're going to paint a big block of color pretty soon. A big old block of color. A big block of color. Okay. Let's start right about here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So, here's what we do. We pay attention. It's important that we surround all of our bright colors with some neutrals from time to time, because the neutrals give it that little extra shine. Whenever you start painting with something a little bit brighter, if everything's bright all the time, the colors start to lose their luster. That's a fact right there. It's a really unfortunate one, too. It's one that some people learn the hard way when they paint. But we all pick it up sooner or later. We all learn eventually. And we get better. Okay. Let's focus now. Let's do a little bend right here. There's going to be a little bit of water right there. It's going to be kind of interesting to look at, I think. Dock here is going to go up a little bit. Feels like our painting is slowly taking shape. It's looking prettier and prettier by the day. And all this preliminary work, well, you just got to break it down in chunks, I think. And that's what makes paintings a little bit easier to do at times, is when you just break it down to smaller pieces and say to yourself, well, here's what we're going to do today. Here's our goal for today. We're not going to try to paint the whole thing all at once, because that'd be nuts. But we'll paint this, and we'll paint that, and then we'll paint this the next day. Before you know it, you're starting to have yourselves a little bit of a finished painting. I mean, we're not quite there yet, but well, we will be. We will be. Okay. This is kind of a unique, kind of earthy color that we're using, I think. There's another line over there that we need to kind of draw, get the curve right. Yeah, like that line right there is what we're looking for. There. This is going to extend all the way to the bottom, I think. The bottom of what you can all see out there, my friends. That's okay. That's okay. And this is going to extend in here. Yeah. That's nice. Okay. Okay. We may need to make some adjustments as we go, but that's normal for an oil painting. Let's see about this line right here. Yeah, that line's a little severe. Let's go ahead and reload it a little bit. Yeah. That's okay. There. It's not as severe as it was, thankfully. It's a little bit better. Okay. Alright, let's focus on getting a little bit more of this brown in. I'm gonna paint a little bit of, real quick, I think we're gonna paint some grass. I think I know just the color to use for that. Boy, do I ever. I tend to use a lot of I tend to use sap green a lot these days. I find myself using it more and more, it seems like. Should I be using it quite so much? Oh, I don't know. But when you have a color that works, You tend to use it quite a bit. You tend not to argue with it too much. I'm getting myself a little bit more of my sap because I'm kind of running out. Yeah, just running out a little bit. That's okay, we'll add a little bit more. And we'll see how this looks. It's not so bad. No. Tell you what I might do, though. I might add a little bit of cadmium yellow deep to this. Because cadmium colors, I don't know if you knew this, but a cadmium color can give a certain kind of shine to a painting because of the way that it reflects light. Cadmium paint causes colors to reflect light a certain way that gives the painting luminance in a way that you just don't really capture with other colors. And that's why they're popular to this day, even among watercolor painters. Because you just can't get that color sometimes any other way. Alright, let's see what this looks like. It's a very earthy looking green, isn't it? That's pretty earthy. That's okay. It's okay, but we're going to smack that in. Yeah, we're going to smack it in right there. Looking good. Del Racy says, or is it Del Racy says, I have so much respect for oil pastel and oil paint artists. Literally magic. It's one of those things you get better at as you work at it. I've heard some people say that watercolor is the hardest medium, and it might be. Yeah, it might be. But oil painting, when you first pick it up, it's not easy. No, there's a big learning curve that goes along with painting. And you pick it up sooner or later. But for the longest time, you just feel like, you're aimlessly doing things. Okay. We'll leave the rest of it for right now. Yeah, we'll leave the rest of it. This is good. Alright, let's take a quick look at something I want to get over here. I think I've got a neutral that I can whip up real quick. Alright. What I do whenever I'm done painting is I take all the colors that I've mixed that day and just mix them together so that I can reuse them again. And this helps me mix neutrals very, very quickly. Let's see what that looks like. It's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. I think I want a touch more blue in it, and then a touch more white. There. That's looking pretty good. Just a smidge more white, though. A smidge more white will do it. Okay. And now we finally have something bright enough. There's an angle on this that's a little challenging to get, but we'll get it. About yay there. Okay. Yeah. things started to take shape. Things started to take shape, my friends. Bit by bit, day by day, slowly they take shape. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. This may be a good place to put a pin in things, so I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed all this painting that we've done together. And maybe I'll see you again next time. Have a good night, my friends. I'll see you again soon. Good night, everyone.